Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and marzipan mass murderers. I am Speedyard, and this is Hotline Miami. The game presents its story, such as it is, in a very roundabout manner. It's important to keep in mind it's far more of a story than many of the games it's styled after ever offered us. If it had been made in the time it takes place, it might even be remembered as one of the classic game stories, though you can probably say that about a lot of retro games. As it stands, though, it's still unclear why we're killing these people, and especially who the masked men are. It does develop as time goes on, but this is the kind of game where the story is more than anything an excuse for the gameplay. And the gameplay is very satisfying. As you can see, I'll be going with Dennis once again. I really love being able to use a knife at the very beginning. If you move quickly enough, most of the time enemies can't react to you. Also, moving quickly can result in you getting stuck on the walls, which is quite embarrassing if you're trying to make for a very fast run. And as you notice there, you can use doors to bash enemies down. I threw my knife at that one man over there with a gun, because otherwise these men in here with guns will be able to see me through that window. That's one thing you have to watch out for, and it'll probably get you many times. They can see you through the windows, and they will come after you. Now I'm taking this baseball bat with me, and in the next room, I'll be able to make very good use of it. By timing things, you can take all these men out very quickly. And I'm very satisfied with how this room turned out, as I was able to throw my baseball bat at that one man and take him out before he could do anything to me. This is the only section of the game where you'll find a bomb strapped to a door. I don't know why they didn't use it very often, but it was interesting. It took a while to figure out. And there we are. We're already done. As always, our friend the convenience store clerk has some kind words for us, and remains blissfully ignorant of just who he is talking to. We'll grab a few things here, and we'll be gone. And I'd like to note that our protagonist is driving a DeLorean. I find that to be a wonderful, very 80s reference. It's quite nice to see. Now, to be honest, everything I show you is the result of going through these segments dozens of times each in the worst case, and developing a feel for each area. Nonetheless, it takes real skill and even planning to arrive at the point where you can mop up an entire building with ease. Despite having the advantage of foresight, it still requires planning, both beforehand and on the fly, timing and skill to pull off a good hit. For instance, right here I waited for my enemies to get into a position where I could take them out quickly. Stunned enemies stay on the ground for several seconds, so the door takes care of the first gunman. The second gunman is my next priority, as he can attack at a distance and kill me instantly. After that, the man with a melee weapon can be taken out easily, so long as I have a weapon with a fast attack speed and I time it properly. And then I have time to get the man on the floor. Had I kept my knife, I would have gone through this room extremely quickly, as I would have been able to slice through those three men when they were lined up, with incredible ease and speed. As it was, it took a little more effort this time around. That and the events just afterward only prove my point about being able to react to changing and not always favorable circumstances on the fly. In any case, while you should aim to be quick, it's worthwhile to take a moment to breathe and aim properly as well. We'll never know this guy's story. Working 4 different jobs everywhere we go, he labors tirelessly towards the bright future that awaits him in the 90s. Notice that the woman we saved last time has apparently taken up permanent residence in Jacket's apartment. Ah, and I love this. We need to make certain that the VIPs are enjoying their stay. I can't reiterate enough how much I enjoy the euphemisms I used in this game. Right here, I made a bit of a mistake. I used the knife, which most of the time is the best choice, but I should have chosen a mask that would allow me to have infinite ammo, for instance, since all the men in this room have guns. Also, notice that it has a bit of slowdown here. I'd be interested in the technical details of why that is, given that I'm running this on a very powerful computer. But, as you can see, ammo runs out for enemies as well as for me, so this was not much of a problem. We've wiped out everyone in this room for who knows what reasons, and now we can go to the second floor. There are only 2 instances in the game where we're allowed to do this. Oh, and notice this. A sneaky janitor. I'm not so sure what significance he will have. We'll find out, I suppose. Now, as you can see, we snuck alongside the ledge outside that window. We take out this entire room, we get that man who's apparently on the ground still alive, and we've cleaned up the building. I'm still so endlessly amused by the fact that there is a video store in this game. I have to wonder if Jacket rents his NES games here. Ah, and notice that they attribute the killings to multiple perpetrators, and not just one man. Which could be a way of saying just how efficient Jacket is, or a consequence of the fact that he's always changing out his masks. Ah, and now we need to go clean up a mess at some apartments. Well, they can be certain that that mess will be well cleaned up. With this level, I chose to go with Brandon instead of Dennis, as that first man up there is a good ways walk, and I wanted to be certain I could get to him before he can react to me, because they will hear you coming up behind them if you give them enough time. If you're quick enough though, they can't react, and as long as you stay out of their sight and stay behind them, generally they won't be much of a problem. When fighting thugs with guns, staying out of sight is key. If they can't see you, they can't shoot you, and if they have to turn around to hit you, then it will take them a little time to do so. Sometimes you can rush in and hit them like I did just then, but most of the time it's best to keep your distance and fire back if you see men with guns coming at you. Now if you're quick like I am right here, you can rush through and mow them all down. Although there's an entirely different dynamic to fighting thugs with guns versus melee weapons. In most levels, you'll be able to get through using nothing but melee weapons, which I prefer. Guns make noise and draw the enemy to your position, which is a fact you can use to your advantage, but will more often than not get you killed. I suppose it's possible to build a playstyle centered around gun use. After all, your score depends upon how many thugs you kill in a row, rather than upon variety. In the end, I found it's essential to mix and match as you go along, adapting your tactics to the situation at hand while maintaining a general strategy for the level overall, a fact which will become increasingly apparent in coming levels. And as you can see here, despite being close to me and being armed, they weren't able to react in time to me despite me just having a knife. And now, a strange phone call. Well, this is certainly a change to the normal order of things. Join me next time and we'll deal with this phone freak here on Hotline Miami.